Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. A day after the blast outside Red Fort Metro Station killed at least 13 people and injured several others, the center has decided to hand over the case to the National Investigation Agency. Following a second security meeting, Union Home Minister Amit Shah today said, and I'm going to quote him, that everyone involved in the blast will face the full wrath of our agencies. The Red Fort has been closed temporarily due to security reasons, and the defense forces are on a high vigil across the country. Now, what everyone is perplexed about is the white collar terror ecosystem, which has come to the forefront, where you've seen how the radicalized professionals who are doctors, they have managed to perpetrate this terror incident which has happened. And what has come to light is that they are coordinating through encrypted channels and charitable fronts to move the funds, arms, and the explosives. So we'll try and understand this modus operandi. And is this very, very clear? Because we've not come to know of it through the official sources, but we do know that a case of UAPA has been registered and also under the Explosives Act. So does this now make it a terror incident? Joining me this evening is a very special guest, veteran security expert, author, and journalist Manoj Joshi joins us. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshi, for joining on the Federal. It's a pleasure having you on the program. And I would really like to understand. Many papers in the morning had mentioned about the fact that this Red Fort blast looks like a mystery. Does it still look like a mystery, or the modus operandi is increasingly becoming clear? Yes, Mr. Joshi.
It still looks like a mystery. And the reason is that the bomb or the device apparently had no shrapnel. Meaning, if it was a finished bomb, it should have had shrapnel and ball bearings because those create a large number of casualties. In this case, most of the casualties were from burns. The second thing is, why would a terrorist detonate the blast at a red light crossing? Meaning, within a stone's throw, there are half a dozen important places in Chandni Chowk and Red Fort where he could have detonated the device. So obviously, either he was transporting the device and the device was unstable and it went off. That's one speculation. Second is that he was planning to take it to some other person for keeping. So we don't know. All that is still a mystery.
But are you also startled with the fact that no official announcement as such has come about, given the fact that the kind of official press conference we saw during Operation Sindoor, and we had a timely press conference to at least tell the people as to what was happening. But here, after this incident, everything looks like it's happening closed doors. The meetings are happening and the stories are being planted through the sources. If you look at the mainstream news channels, they are putting out source based stories. So in the wake of such an incident, shouldn't there have been some kind of a briefing, some kind of a announcement, either by the police officials or by the Home Ministry?
Certainly, there's no doubt about that. I'm really surprised because even now, at the official level, no one has called it a terrorist act. Everyone
Yes.
talking of a blast. You see, blast can have many reasons. You can have a cylinder blast, you can have a gas tank blowing up, or whatever it is. But in my view, this was a terrorist act because the intensity of the explosion was such.
Yes.
So, as I said, it could have been an accidental, meaning the terrorist was carrying it and it became unstable and went off. That is a possibility. But it was an IED, maybe badly fabricated and unstable. But then he had, so what I'm saying is that part of it is mystery, but equally mysterious, as you have pointed out, is how the government's reaction.
Right.
That now one reason for the government reaction is that for the past 2 or 3 years they have been tom-tomming the fact that they have got terrorism under control. The NSA, I forget the date, maybe some months back, even made a declaration that we have countered terrorism. Terrorism is non-issue. The Home Minister has also said things like that. Though, of course, he has often spoken about Naxalism. But even with regard to terrorism, there's been a kind of a feeling that, that's something of the past. Now, suddenly this comes back to haunt the government. And this is not something new. There is a very obvious connection between the arrests of those other doctors and this particular doctor who's alleged to have been driving the car. It's an obvious thing. That investigation has been going on for quite some time. You see, that doctor, first guy arrested, Dr. Adil Ahmed Rathar, he was arrested actually in Saharanpur
Yes.
on November 6th. And after that came the arrests of Muzammil Ahmed Ganai, you see, and Dr. Shaheen Shahid, and a whole lot of other people, you see.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that, so that means the government has a reasonably good idea as to what is happening. Then they are talking of all this huge amount of explosive material that has been found. You don't have that explosive material for fun. Now,
Absolutely.
you have explosive material found in Faridabad and various places, and you have an explosion at the Red Fort.
Yes.
I mean, what does it take to connect? Meaning you have to be absolutely dense if you don't connect the two.
But Mr. Joshi, do you also feel that there was, uh, I mean, a severe shortage on the intelligence? Does it look like a security lapse, a severe security lapse, knowing the fact that if they have been hounding around these modules for few days, and they have had the links established from Jammu Kashmir to Haryana to Saharanpur to Gujarat or elsewhere, and then they have recovered also ammonium nitrate, but they couldn't preempt that there could be a blast as well, and that too in the heart of the national capital.
Well, uh, there is an element. I wouldn't call it failure, but I'm not sure of the circumstances. But obviously, if that Dr. Umar, that Dr. Umar was also part of the conspiracy, he should have been
Yes.
wrapped up together. How did he get away? Was the surveillance on him weak?
Right.
Because he works in the same hospital, Al Falah Hospital.
Hmm.
You see, he works. So there is a failure there. But then one must credit the police for the larger, for having wrapped up the larger conspiracy, because the amount of material that they had could have made 40, 50, 100, 200 bombs
Yeah.
with that. So
But so
here,
does it look like something that the security officials or the police officials were in the process of reaching a conclusion about a particular terror module, and incidentally, I mean, by fluke or by some mistake, unintentionally, this incident happened? Does it increasingly look like a case of that sort?
the thing is that they have, as I said, that Dr. Rathar was caught in November 6th. You see, and Ganai was caught on November 9th. So why wasn't Umar also caught on November 9th? Because he is a Delhi Faridabad based guy.
Yeah.
How did he get away? Why didn't the police make sure that all were taken together?
Hmm.
All the suspects were captured together. So at some point, some decision may have been made that let's grab hold of these guys while we have them. we'll get them one by one. They underestimated, not under, I wouldn't say underestimated, but I think to some extent this was a kind of an amateur group. So I'm not sure. Maybe they underestimated Umar's role in this.
Right.
There is a possibility.
As you said, they did look like an amateur group, which also brings me to the question that these look more like homegrown people who are indigenous. Maybe they are not too skilled or they are not too scrutinized in that kind of a terror activity, and because no group or no international group has claimed the incident and claimed the ownership to the incident. So what does it look like? They look like like homegrown terrorists or homegrown indigenous group which is behind this entire thing.
Well, the consequences of they not being homegrown are pretty big. In the sense, I can see from the stories that are being planted that the government wants to link it to the Jaish e Mohammed.
Right.
Now, if you link it to the Jaish e Mohammed, then as per your new doctrine, you should launch an attack on Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Because the Prime Minister's words are pretty clear that we will not only take on the terrorists, but also those who are behind them.
Yes.
I think that is one reason for the government caution at this stage. They don't
Hmm.
want to be hoisted by their own petard.
Hmm.
You see? So
No,
I'm just a,
but this government has been, the administration has been very quick to point fingers at Pakistan always, and at the drop of a hat, the moment a group claims ownership and the fingers begin to point at Pakistan. But this time, it's so unlike the usual things which the government does.
yeah, because the consequences of that are pretty high. I mean, the consequences of that is that you must attack Pakistan.
Yeah.
You see, the
So,
consequences of saying that the Jaish e Mohammed is involved means that you must attack Pakistan.
yeah. And also the fact that there are questions that 7 months after this Pahalgam incident happened, you have another terror incident which takes place in the heart of the national capital. What does
Uh,
it actually go to show? Because the government was saying all this while that we've demolished all the terror camps in Pakistan, though there is no group which has claimed ownership, and neither has the government linked it to the Pakistan angle. But if at all the government does it maybe in few days and they try to link it with Jaish-e-Mohammed, then will questions again not be asked of the government that what happened? You had demolished those terror camps, but why did this group come back?
no, no, I'm saying even the government probably doesn't take that government doesn't take that view seriously. The what they have demolished is are some training camps of the terrorists. But the training camp is what, just a hut with a firing range, some people staying there. It's not so. Yes, they attacked the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed and the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Taiba. But the terrorists are scattered all over the place. Their main hideouts have now been dispersed. So I don't, and so we only attacked how many in the first round? We attacked, I think, what, 7 or 8 camps. I'm not sure, camps, and then plus the headquarters of these Jaish and the Lashkar. So no way could we have finished terrorism. I don't think the government, even the government, made such a claim that we have finished Jaish and Lashkar. That's simply untrue.
Right. But to these white collar terror network and these professionals who are involved, what would you say? I mean, to what extent is the radicalization happening? Is this not a worrisome thing? The way the professionals, the doctors are involved in this?
It is a worrisome thing in the sense, definitely for Kashmir, it's a worrisome thing. It means that roots, the terrorism has taken deep roots in Kashmir. That if you look at the profiles of all these people, the three doctors who have been arrested, or one has died. Uh, the two doctors who've been arrested, meaning if you look at the profiles of their families, they are 100% Kashmiri, and the point out here is that we have been saying that there is normalcy in Kashmir, but actually, if you look at the record, you go back. We don't read the Kashmiri press here, but if you look at last 2 or 3 months, there has been a major security crackdown in Kashmir. This is not the only group that has been this thing. There has been another group that was found with weapons in Srinagar last month. So there has been a lot of activity by the security forces in Jammu and Kashmir in the last month and more. So obviously things are not under control. You can keep a tight lid on them, but that doesn't mean that you control them.
Right. Also, there's no clarity about the fact that we do again come to know about it through sources that a case has been registered under UAPA and the Explosives Act. Now, does that bring us to the conclusion that it is a terror plot? Or will there be an official announcement on this? So far, there is no announcement as such. But do we
Well,
assume?
we are meant to assume that
Okay.
if it's UAPA, NIA, meaning if it
Yes.
was a gas cylinder blast, I would say you don't have the NIA there. If it was an
Obviously.
accidental blast, so it's either an accidental blast or a deliberate blast. If it's a deliberate blast, it's terrorism.
Hmm.
Simple as that.
Right. And also, what would you say to the cache of arms which has been recovered and also the kind of explosives, ammonium nitrate? There's no clarity on the RDX. Uh, if I'm correct, if you followed it, what would you say to the recovery of ammonium nitrate in huge quantity? Uh, what does it show about the group which is using this kind of an explosive? And I'm also told that they apparently mixed it with some fuel oil, then it was triggered by some kind of a detonation. Could that have happened?
Yeah. Meaning the ANFO. This is called ANFO,
Yes.
ammonium nitrate and fuel oil.
Hmm.
Fuel oil can be diesel, you know.
Yeah.
So this makes a potent combination, and then it is triggered by a detonator, and it's a pretty powerful explosive. Meaning it does not match the RDX.
Hmm.
RDX, would there would be far more casualties.
Hmm.
RDX is a military grade explosive. This is a homemade explosive. You see, so you can make pretty good and for bombs, meaning the terrorists have made them. Meaning, after all, the Mumbai blasts, the pressure cooker bombs and all that in Mumbai were made by terrorist modules. Except here, I think that they had not quite gotten down to making those, fabricating that. They had
Hmm.
plans for the future.
Right.
They had plans for the future, and this particular device may have been made, I don't know for what test, or fabricated in a hurry. You know,
Right.
it didn't really work properly.
But supposing if the Pakistan link is not established in this particular case, so how will the government send out a stern message? Obviously, Operation Sindoor 2.0 can't be the answer. How will the government take action then against these perpetrators?
Well, it has to take action then in Kashmir.
Okay.
So a lot of arrests are going on have taken place in Kashmir.
Hmm.
The overground organization of people who support militancy will be targeted. People who support separatism will be targeted. That's the only thing that can be done. Nothing else can be done.
Also, the flip side of this particular incident, how hard could the government come on these charitable fronts? Because here what we are told is that this white collar ecosystem, it was coordinating through encrypted channels, and then the charitable funds, charitable fronts to move the funds and arms and explosives. So do you think that the government could in the days to come hard on these charitable fronts also,
No,
do a lot of
I am
inquiry investigation on that?
I am presuming that they should already be keeping an eye on them. Why are they not already keep? I mean, it's very easy. Charitable funds, your ED and others, what's their job? Any
Right.
kind of funds moving here and there, surely, even if you're charitable funds, you come under a certain legislation. Uh, the government should be keeping track of what you use your funds for. For example, the government's cracked down on foreign funding to NGOs.
Yeah.
So there they keep a track. So you can, even with charitable funds, you can keep a track.
Right. Why do you think that the government couldn't suspect any kind of activity as far as these group of doctors were concerned? What I was reading was that to get their arms, the cash of arms, and whatever they had with themselves, they were using ordinary vehicles like an auto rickshaw sometimes. Then I was reading a report where apparently they could have been supplied arms with the help of the drones also. Why do you think that the government missed out on tracking this kind of a terror activity?
Well, the point is that the bad guys do the their thing, and the good guys have to do their thing. This is a constant struggle, and in this case, they obviously missed out earlier. According to the sequence of events, this Dr. Radar
Hmm.
was pasting Jaish-e-Mohammed posters
Yes, that's how it was
in
recovered. The
in
clip.
Anantnag, I think Anantnag, and
Yes,
on October 27th when he was nabbed. Now the thing is that the police would never have suspected that doctors would be involved. So it
hmm,
is only when they caught him and then they found that rifle and other things, that is when they stumbled onto this.
right.
So that is the. But what I say, the thing is, that's why I said that what this indicates is that terrorism may have taken deeper roots in Kashmir than we have imagined.
Right. And which is just the antithesis of what the government has been promising, that after revoking Article 370, Kashmir will become normal. Then
Yes, yes.
that means that again, that narrative and all those questions will come back to haunt the government. What happened? You revoked the Article 370.
Absolutely. I mean that is true. Meaning you need, in my view, you need a political negotiation with the Kashmiris.
Absolutely.
You need a political negotiation with the Kashmiris. Otherwise, these extremist elements, since you have marginalized both the extremists and the moderates, and everyone has been marginalized, so the extremists gain.
But my final question to you, Mr. Joshi, is that would you see this as a serious security lapse?
It's difficult to say that because it's also a security. There is also a great security achievement to have rumbled on to the main conspiracy.
Okay,
It's a lapse because 13 people died, which is a big, big price,
right.
very big price. But we must also weigh it against the fact that the police were able to, uh, what should I say? The police were able to diffuse what could have been a far more serious conspiracy.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I'm sure lots of layers will unfold in the days to come because the investigation is still on, and now the case has been handed over to NIA. So we'll have to keep a watch on this particular case, and also what's going to happen in Kashmir as well. So we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mr. Manoj Joshi, for joining on the Federal. Thank you very much.
thank you, thank you.